My name is Hideki Kono, and I work for EAD at Nintendo Company Limited. And I am the producer on Mario Kart DS and Nintendogs. Well, when we first started developing Mario Kart DS, Wi-Fi really wasn't part of the picture yet, and our goal was to have Mario Kart DS playable with 8 people, and again, that's where we're moving forward with our development. And then midway through the development process, the Wi-Fi connection possibilities came up, and we decided, hey, we should make the game work with that as well. When that occurred, probably a little bit before E3 this year, I think. Well, let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mario. This is the 5th Mario Kart game in the series, and I think the one that I recall with the most fondness would be the Super NES version, which was, of course, the first one and really the beginning of the whole series. So that's the one I would have to look back at. Well, yes, you should be afraid, because I don't lose. I don't plan on losing, and I'm really looking forward to launch because I plan on racing as much as possible. I really want to be an active participant in the game, so beware. Well, originally one of our goals was to have to keep a very high frame rate with the 8-person local network wireless play. So trying to keep that running at 60 frames per second, technologically speaking, was a difficult challenge for us. And then when we started talking about the whole Wi-Fi issue, that became, through an extra wrench in the works, in that it's first for Nintendo, and it's a racing game, and we really wanted to have players approach or be able to play the Wi-Fi with the same easy accessibility as they played the local wireless network, and we had to do it in a fairly short period of time. So that was a very difficult challenge for us to meet. You can do versus races, single player. Again, being able to do so many different fun things in the single player mode is really exciting. And also with the Wi-Fi, I was really involved with, when we were doing the beta testing, I would race at home myself. And so being able to race against, say, Mr. Iwata was pretty exciting. And I spent a lot of time, again, doing the Wi-Fi beta testing. So maybe those things would be the best, or my favorite new elements. Well, yes, of course. There are some things that we had to leave out, unfortunately. As I said, this is the 5th game in the series, and there are a lot of great elements from previous titles that would have been really nice to have in there. But if we had included everything, of course, the game would have been, the balance would maybe not would have been, it would have been as good as we would have liked, and made the game a little bit more difficult. So we really looked at, again, making the gameplay very accessible, very easy to get into for everyone. And so with that goal in mind, we really had to evaluate individual elements on their criteria to meet that goal, and balance out what we left in and what we left, or what we put in and what we left out. Excuse me. Well, the schedule was tight, of course, but that wasn't the only reason why we didn't add some things that we were thinking about. Again, that easy access for play, where it was one of the main things that drove our decisions to maybe not have some extra content for the online game. Some of the things we thought about were, online rankings, some uploadable or, downloadable content for the game. And these are things that, not only because of the schedule, but for our original plan, we had left out. But we'll do them someday, and we will include them in the future. Yeah, of course, there are many things that in the process of developing any title, and of course with Mario Kart as well, where, this would be a great thing to put in, or this would be a fun thing to put in, but in keeping with our original idea of, again, that easy accessibility, ease of play, and then looking at our schedule and things that, and maybe things that just didn't really maybe work on with this title per se, but they're not dead, they're not gone, and we're, I myself am finished with DS development right now, and I'm working on Revolution stuff, so hopefully a lot of that stuff is going to show up in Revolution games, and we ask that you look forward to seeing some of those elements later on the next generation. Sure. Well, as I was working on Mario Kart, I was also working parallel developing Nintendogs, again, at the same time. Now with Mario Kart, of course, we were looking at an established franchise, and we wanted to create a game that would satisfy the veteran gamers who had played that before, and make it a nice version of that, again, very popular franchise. And now with Nintendogs, we're looking at a new genre with new elements, and so when the game came out and it's gained some popularity, not only in Japan, but also good reviews in the United States and Europe as well, I was very happy, obviously very relieved. And one of our goals with this with the Nintendo DS and the Nintendogs title is to expand the gaming population by presenting new elements and new concepts. And I think we've done that, and was a good first step for us. So obviously I'm very pleased with how it's going so far.